Ever feel like you're just stuck on this treadmill, you know? Trading hours of your life for a paycheck? Yeah, but like not really getting anywhere you actually want to go. If that's resonating even a little, learner, this deep dive is for you. We're tackling James Altucher's 10 Reasons You Have to Quit Your Day Job.
Yeah.
Intense title, right? I'm curious, before we get too far, have you ever actually read any of Altucher's stuff?
Oh, he's something else.
Because his style, it's like
Yeah, you either love it or you hate it. He's blunt.
so blunt, no sugarcoating whatsoever.
Exactly. But I think that's what makes his writing so interesting. He's really not afraid to challenge all those like traditional ideas about work, especially when it comes to like success and finding it. And we should say right off the bat, we're not saying to just go quit your job tomorrow.
We're
We're
definitely not giving out that advice.
more like dissecting his perspective, seeing what it might reveal about how work is changing, in this day and age.
Okay, so buckle up, learner, because Altucher's first point, it kind of hits hard. He says, straight up, a job. Basically, it's a price on your unhappiness. Like you're literally trading fulfillment for that steady paycheck.
Hmm.
And then he goes even further, calls money a ceiling, a bribe to just stay comfy instead of actually going after like your true potential.
It's
Right.
it's definitely provocative.
Big time. I don't know, did any of that like resonate with you when you first read it? Because I know for me,
Yeah, I mean, I think what he's getting at is it's easy to stay in jobs we don't love for the security. All right.
right, excellent.
But by doing that, we might be giving up on things that really light us up, our
Yeah.
passions, and ultimately our own happiness. It's like that question, are we working to live or living to work?
Oh, deep.
And he does not hold back on money as a motivator either. Calls, raises, and promotions false rewards,
Yeah.
almost like you're being pacified instead of truly thriving.
Interesting.
He even says, don't be a donkey chasing a carrot on a stick.
Okay, yeah, I remember that.
It's funny, but also kind of sad if you think about it too long.
Right, because it's like those traditional ways we measure success, climbing that corporate ladder, it might not actually equal fulfillment.
Right.
He's suggesting those rewards, they can trap us in this cycle of always needing more, seeking validation from outside instead of what truly drives us, on the inside.
Yeah.
And then he goes after the whole social side of work. This one, I was like, ooh, spicy. He says workplace friendships are often forced, more about proximity than any real connection.
Yeah, I see where he's coming from.
Like you're just stuck with these people, right?
He paints this picture of everyone being herded around like cattle, especially during the commute,
Ugh, the commute.
which, by the way, he compares to a glimpse of hell,
Maybe a little dramatic.
a tad,
Yeah.
but I've been there. I'm curious, though, learner, have you ever felt that like disconnect in your own workplace?
Yeah, because he makes this point that these relationships, they can be kind of transactional, fueled by competition, even jealousy, especially if someone starts, moving up faster than others.
Oh, 100%.
And the commute, ugh, don't even get me started. He's right, it can be brutal. Okay, maybe comparing it to hell is a bit much. But the point is, right, all those superficial connections, they distract us from making deeper ones.
Yep.
Ones that actually like feed our souls outside of work.
Exactly.
And it gets even more interesting when he gets into the whole 9 to 5 myth.
Oh, yeah. He really dismantles that one.
Yeah.
Because it's a myth, right?
Totally.
Like he's saying work doesn't actually stay confined to these neat little hours anymore, does it?
Nope.
Especially with technology, those lines are so blurred. Work bleeds into the evenings,
Wow.
weekends,
Weekends for sure.
and it leaves so little time for anything else. The things we're actually passionate about, things we want to pursue outside of, like the grind. He tells this really vivid story about his own experience with this.
Oh, right. About his lost sandbox. That image stuck with me.
Yes. He talks about how, as a kid, he could spend hours in his sandbox,
Yeah.
just lost in his imagination, right? Being creative. But as he gets older, enters the workforce.
Yeah.
Those moments, gone.
Poof.
Replaced by, like, deadlines and routines. Such a good metaphor for how we lose sight of the things we loved as kids, things that let us be creative, explore.
Play. When did we stop prioritizing play? That's what I want to know. And it's so interesting that he connects this directly to his next point, the money maze.
Such a good segue, because you're right. He ties it all together,
Oh.
because that carrot on a stick,
Right.
As appealing as it might seem, Altucher argues it leads a lot of us down this frustrating maze where our income, it disappears as fast as it comes in.
Taxes, bills, debt, all the things.
Yeah, exactly. He breaks it down, right?
He does.
And he says, because of this constant pressure to maintain a certain lifestyle, to buy all the things that supposedly mean success, we're left with nothing to actually pursue those dreams we had back in the sandbox.
Hmm.
And it's not even just about the stuff, right? The stuff we can't buy because we're stuck on that treadmill. It's the opportunities we miss out on completely because we're so focused on like just keeping our heads above water financially.
Yeah.
Altucher points out that most millionaires, they have multiple income streams, not just that one job.
Which, yeah, that's pretty much impossible if you're spending all your time and energy at, like, just the one gig.
Exactly.
It's like he's saying, if you actually want to build wealth, real wealth, you got to create value on your own terms, you know, not just trade time for money, same old routine. And this leads into, honestly, what I thought was the most, I don't know, mind-blowing part of his whole argument.
Oh, tell me, which one?
The value equation. Did that one stand out to you?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Because that's where you see like the core of what Altucher sees as this imbalance, right? In the whole system of traditional jobs. Like he's arguing that employees, the people actually making the product, doing the service, whatever it is, they're getting a tiny slice of the value they actually bring to the company.
He uses this example, and it's crazy. Imagine earning 1/10 of a penny for every dollar of value you create.
Woof.
Yeah, let that sink in a minute. Learner, how does that feel, hearing it put like that?
It's a powerful way to think about it, right? How big that gap could be. And this connects right into his next point about the loyalty illusion.
Ooh, yeah, that one's rough.
Because Altucher's saying those days of like lifetime employment, they're gone, you know? And being blindly loyal to a company, they might not return the favor. He's got this story, it's kind of heartbreaking actually, about this guy who worked at General Motors for 40 years. And then, boom, laid off. No second thought.
It's brutal out there.
It is. It's like a whole different world of work now. Being able to adapt, being self-reliant, way more important than ever. If you're clinging to that old idea that a job equals security for life, could be setting yourself up for a rude awakening.
Big time. And so that's where this whole, like, entrepreneurial spirit comes in, right?
Exactly. Altucher argues that the people who thrive in this new, like, faster, more uncertain economy, ones who can adapt, make their own opportunities, create their own income streams.
He even goes as far as saying traditional jobs, they're on their way out, being replaced by, like, automation, the gig economy, which, I gotta say, exciting and kind of terrifying at the same time.
Absolutely. It's a total mindset shift. It's not about chasing stability anymore. It's about being okay with uncertainty, taking charge of your own path.
Love that.
And this is where Altucher brings up something I did not expect, the importance of laughter.
Okay, I love that he goes there because it's so true. We get so caught up in all this, like, seriousness of work, we forget to have fun.
Right. He reminds us, as kids, we used to laugh, like, hundreds of times a day. But as adults, especially stuck in jobs you don't like, we lose that.
It's tragic.
A little bit, yeah. And he's not just saying, like, go watch more comedy specials, although, you know, not a bad idea.
Never hurts.
But he's saying, find work that actually lights you up, that lets you tap into that play, that creativity we were talking about back in the sandbox days.
Yes. Rediscovering what brings you joy makes you come alive. And then finding ways to bring that into your work, however you can.
He even makes this connection, right, between that pure, like, childlike laughter and freedom that comes from having those multiple income streams.
Interesting.
Like when you're not relying on that one job to, you know, keep a roof over your head. When you've built something yourself, it creates space for more joy, more creativity.
Takes the pressure off.
Exactly.
You're not just surviving, you're actually, like, thriving. And that feeling that you're in the driver's seat, so empowering.
Yeah.
Which brings us to Altucher's final and honestly, I think, most useful piece of advice. The evil plan. What do you think, learner? Ready for this?
Okay, so this is where he takes all these, like, big, kind of scary sometimes ideas and gives us a way forward. He's not saying, everybody quit your jobs right now.
Right, he's not that extreme.
It's more like, build yourself an evil plan first.
Okay, now I gotta say, the name is a little dramatic. This isn't about, like, getting back at your boss or anything.
Yeah, no, it's way more strategic and honestly, kind of exciting.
Right. So break it down for us. What exactly is this whole evil plan thing?
So think of it like you're creating a safety net.
Okay.
A plan B while you're still working that day job. It could be anything, a side hustle you're passionate about, writing that book you've always talked about, learning a new skill, anything that uses what you're good at. And has the potential to, you know, bring in some money, separate from what you're already doing.
So, like, if you end up unhappy in your job, or like that guy at General Motors, things just go sideways out of nowhere.
You've got options.
Yeah.
It's about taking
Yeah.
control, right? Instead of just hoping that system's going to work out for you.
Love that.
And it's not just about the money, although that's part of it.
Sure.
It's about having something you're working towards, something that, brings you joy, gives you a sense of purpose outside of the daily grind.
So, learner, we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
Altucher, he definitely makes you think, right?
He's a lot. In a good way.
In the best way. But I'm curious what really resonated with you. Any of his points, like, hit home for you personally?
Yeah, and whether you agree with the whole quit your job thing or not, I think what's valuable is he makes us ask those big questions.
Important ones.
Right. Are we actually going after what we want in life? Are we using our talents, our passions to their full potential? Are we building a life we love, or are we just, going through the motions?
Such important questions, learner. And who knows, maybe this whole deep dive, it sparked an idea for your own evil plan. No matter what, keep those big questions in mind, keep that playful spirit alive, and never, ever stop seeking out those moments of true joy. Until next time.